Keep myself together, all we got is us. Keep myself going, all we got is us. It's an individual call out. If you understand that all we got is us, then who's the most important person in? You. You got to take care of yourself. You got to do better. If you're in relationships with people, to make that relationship stronger, you get stronger. You don't say, I need you to do this. No, you get stronger. Do what you got to do for you, because all we got is us. Because if you're stronger, you can do better for us, and now we can do better together. But I think if it's just, I'm waiting for somebody to do something for me, then you're going to be waiting forever. And so that's really why I said that about that whole, all we got is up, because in the end, that's all we have. That tree gives me air to breathe, but that tree doesn't fight for me. But you probably will. You know what I'm saying? And then, but what you also may do is also may not fight for me, but calm me down. Hey, you need to fight, chill out.
Yeah, again, welcome to another episode of the Heartwood Podcast. My name is Isaac Carew, and switching it up a bit today because our fearless leader, Dr. RaShad Easley, aka the Hip Hop Forester, is in the interviewer seat, or in the interviewee seat today, in his role as RaShad Eas, as an artist. And so, for me personally, I have not met RaShad Eas yet in the flesh. I have musically through your discography. And so, yeah, that's what we're here today, is to talk about yourself as an artist for your latest project, your latest album, D.E.I. And so, real excited to have you today and to talk about the project.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to this discussion, because it was a very, I think, important project for me to actually put out. But there's some nuances about it, so I'm looking forward to the discussion, so I can explain kind of like actually how I put it together.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's perfect, because that was my first question really, is okay. This isn't your first album. You've had quite a few before this one. And as someone that's newer to knowing you as an artist, but also recognizing that you have this legacy, I wanted to ask, what the inspiration for this particular album was, and how you see it sort of fitting into your own legacy as an artist.
Thank you. Well, the record was actually, it's actually more of a compilation, than it is an actual album, which is why it's just a short EP. Each song is really from a different future project that's coming. So, that's why like certain songs kind of like starts, like, if I say hear Craziness from Charles, but like, no, let's go crazy, because there's an interlude. I'm listening to Charles Barkley, who is also from Alabama, like me, so I just wanted to like let people know that that's one of the things I wanted to do, is just put some songs together. The next thing I did want to call it D.E.I, because in the moment, and it's still going on now, D.E.I is being challenged, it's being outlawed in some states here in the country. And even in parts of the world, I think that there are people who are, fighting it. But I think that there's a lot of misinformation really about it. And I think that some people feel very restricted. So I wanted to do something where I kind of was free. And then I can put in there, call this D.E.I, because if someone was to say, why did you say it like that? I would explain it through the principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion, why I said it, so that people can see, even those who resist it, like you can use it too. But I'm not trying to use it, I'm not trying to use DEI to hurt people. And I don't believe in inequity. I don't think that that's right. But I do think that everyone can actually use those principles.
Man, it's like you're reading my mind, because that's right where my next question was going to, was about the title, D.E.I, and you also have the track on there, which you could abbreviate to D.E.I, which is Disruptive Education Instruction. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about D.E.I, there's obviously the diversity, equity, inclusion, but then you also are introducing an alternative definition of disruptive education instruction.
Yes.
And so I wanted to ask, I guess before jumping into each one of those, how are you sort of defining or playing with the idea of DEI on this album?
Okay, so disruptive, right? Mm-hmm. I have been called a disruptor. I've been called an interrupter. So I said, okay, then let's disrupt something. Like on that song in particular, I say something. I know trying to remember the lyrics, but there's something where I'm saying like, it's like I'm talking to a woman and I'm talking about, tell me your age or something like that. So in my life, just speaking to like about my past history, I've interacted with folks, in particular women, and in my family. Okay, so let's make it about family because I can talk about that, right? And even in my family, if you're over 40, it was like, you don't say it. Like I'm this age, I'm this age. And I want to disrupt that because I believe that the older you get, there's more. I think it's a blessing. I think that there's an honor. I think that especially if you get old and you have a lot of communities around you who love you and that you're taking care of. So what I was trying to do was interrupt and disrupt some of what people are saying who I think would be positive DEI people as well. So it's like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of touch as many angles as I can. Not because I want people to question, well, where does he sit? I want people to question themselves, well, where do I sit? Like, man, if I'm questioning my age as an individual, is that because there's something wrong with my age, something wrong with society? Or is it maybe just, I may be misunderstanding something? So that's really why I wanted to do it that way. And that's why I said instruction in the end, because I'll tell people like, you hear artists say, I'm not trying to preach. I'm saying, I'm not preaching to you. Well, I'm a former campus pastor. I am preaching. I am giving you some thoughts and some things that you can do and use, but I'm not saying my way is the way. I'm just giving some ways or a way.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, I guess also in that title, for me, it's like you have the disruption part, you have the education part, and you have instruction as well. And the words education and instruction to me are similar, but I think that it would probably have been a deliberate choice for you to say both of those.
Yes.
Could you say a bit more about that?
Yes. Well, because, so it's like a command of words, right? I believe that people who have a great command of words can talk to so many folks, even if it's in multiple languages or even if it's in just one. So when we're being educated, my mom was an educator. That's why I love education so much. I watched her work with youth in particular that had many challenges, physical, mental, of course, economic, and some family. And all of her students did well. She taught Ricky Smiley, the comedian, okay? And he still acknowledges her when he does some shows and stuff like that. And if she comes to a show, he embarrasses her, but that's a different story. Good, in a nice way, so sweet. Okay, so to educate, I think, is to know, or to have an awareness of. So if I say something and then it touches you, okay, got it. But the issue, and I've seen this with a lot of DEI in particular, I've worked at a number of great places, and when people a lot of times learn something, I've seen people who quickly run and try to do something before they've actually internalized it, or what's another word? Erik Erikson has a social identity model. It's more than 100 years old. It's like for when people are like growing up or when they're developing, they like if you teach me something new, it might be passive or active resistance at first. Then it might be passive, then active acceptance. If we keep engaging, then immersion happens. Okay, now I'm about to kick it with Isaac. We're about to do this thing. Then internalization happens. Because now that I'm with you and I've seen how you are, I'm like, oh, this makes him great. Maybe this will make me great. Now I internalize it. When I redefine it, after I internalize it, you can't take it from me. Because now I made it mine.
Right.
And that means that what you do, I follow, I adapt, I use it, but now I have my way. To me, I don't think people sometimes take the time to develop that when they're learning something new. So that's why I put the instruction part at the end. Okay, then let me give you some ideas of how to use this and what to do with it and where to take it. So then that way, I think that people who run, let's say like you and Bennett are both leaders. In the way that you all have interacted with me, you've given me some ideas of how to treat you. Just and one is in how you treated me. Treat me so nicely with care, So I want to make sure I do the same thing. Can I carry something? Can I do this? But I'm letting you instruct, not letting you but I'm saying I'm letting what you're doing teach me, meaning I'm opening my mind. I'm like, let me make sure that I'm reading, what my brothers are doing and make sure that I want them to know that I want them to feel comfortable around me, So then if I do something wrong out of pocket, you can tell me. You see, because the relationship is so strong, you can be like, hey, Doc, you're doing that, or Thomas, when you're doing that, try it this way, Dexter. Appreciate it. See, so now you can instruct me. So that's why I used the different words like that. Let me disrupt like a shock, Okay, then let me educate while you're probably like listening, looking at me, maybe shocked, and then let me give you the instruction, which then gives you the option of whether to use it or not.
Yeah, I really like that because I think that in the past when I've been working on DEI related stuff, I have sometimes just been in a totally different place on the philosophy of how we do it with my fellow DEI practitioners, people who are also aligned with the same mission.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of times people will view DEI as promoting a certain way of viewing an issue. But in my opinion, I think it's a lot more about giving people a mentality or a skill set to interpret issues like that.
Yes.
And I think that, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of people will get offside with DEI because they will see it as a certain set of views that they must unconditionally accept, or if not, then they are XYZ.
Yes. Understand. Yeah.
And so I really appreciate what you're saying about the instruction part, where it's like you have to take this and make it your own. And so I think that speaks a lot to what I think we have to do as DEI practitioners in this moment right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, man. I coalesce with that, or as my dad would say, I jive with that. I like that. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Love that. And it was another question I was going to ask, just going back to the album itself, and I guess the variety of tracks you have on there. I was thinking that like the vibe is very different from certain songs to other songs. Which I liked, but I guess that gave me questions to ask about your creative process, and I guess this is more sort of a project of bringing together different, maybe different ways that you're wanting to express yourself in your future directions, or maybe other tracks you're sitting on. But yeah, I'm just curious, in your creative process for a track, do you usually go track by track, or are there times where you're like, no, I'm going to sit down and just make a project? Like, how does your process as an artist relate into, I guess, your mental models of what you're working on?
Oh, that's a great. Oh man. Okay, hold up. Let's see. Because I think I've done each project a little bit differently. You know, like when I did my Polly Murray album, A Conversation with Polly Murray, that was almost like a researcher the way that I did it. I learned more about them. You know, I knew that I found out later after I did the record that here at Yale that they were, that they had a college, for Polly Murray, which, and I'm still somewhat connected to them. But that was all about, I want to inform people, just inform, because I don't want to say that I know everything about Polly Murray, but I want to inform them and maybe just pique your curiosity. So with that one, I sat down and put the songs together like titles, like, okay, I want to talk about this, almost like an essay. So I have done that. When I did, like, say, my Southern Black Gentleman album, I was like, okay, I want to have a song for the ladies. Yeah. I want to have a song for the club. I want to have a song for the academic. Like, I did that album like that. When I did my Chronicles of Professor Prismatic, I was like, I don't care what people who are not my color think about race, this record is just gonna be what it is. And every song just came out. And then I just, like, for real, that album just, every song the way that it's made, it was made in that order on that one. So, DEI in particular, I did that one differently because they're about, so that project composes about 4 different projects. Okay. Only 2 are complete, other 2 are in the making. And I said, and I hadn't put out anything in a minute. And I said, well, and I knew that this stuff around DEI was, going on. And I also think that I have somewhat of a voice in that space or in that discipline, because I think that's what it is now. So I said, what can I put out in a way that I think could touch people? So I thought about identities first, and my identities. I'm like, what are the identities that matter most to me? My religious or spiritual identity, my race, of course, is always there, my gender expression, so on and so forth, my sexuality, my age, right? Okay, so then if you go back to the record, right, 7 songs, the first song, Ancestral Worship, which was actually a true song. That was a dream that I had. Like when I say I was speaking to my grandma and she told me, like, for real, I woke up and wrote it down. I try to remember my dreams and then I wrote a song. So that's more about like my spiritual, like journey. Takeoff is like hip hop in your face. That's the most hip hop song on there. But then I'm describing, women in a certain way. So that's me kind of appreciating my gender, but appreciating, women, and doing it in a way almost like I am kind of touching the edge a little bit, you know, because I'm speaking like, say, if I'm talking to my brothers and we like maybe at a bar having a drink, what I'm not doing is calling a woman out of her name. What I'm not doing is talking about parts of her body in a derogatory way. And I'm not even making it about race. It's like, this is about all women. But what I am doing is trying to point a pride to women who are plus size. So I'm always trying to elevate, you know, people who I feel who have been marginalized. Number 3, DEI, disruptive education instruction, speaks for itself. And now when that song, I think, anchors the album. Mm-hmm. It is probably the most diverse song on the project. It's made by my producer, JS20000. He is a very interesting thinker, you know, in the way he puts his music together. He puts his music together like he thinks, which makes it easier for me to rhyme, because that's how I do too. So that one, I try to talk about as many identities of DEI as I could. I try to academic, women, men, whether we heterosexual, same gender loving. I try to talk about as much as I could. Then I said, okay, that's probably enough. Let me give you All We Got Is Us. The 4th song is where it's like, okay, we just gonna ride on this one. Yep. And I really just talked about affirmative action in particular, just made it live. That's my number 3 song on the album as far as downloads. People really like that one. The next one after that was Cross. Yep. That is, for me, that song is my scariest song on that album for me. Because I am talking about, in many ways, like my spiritual journey. I'm calling myself out, but then I'm calling out people, you know, of different orientations, you know, in the song too. When I say calling out, I'm really calling in. What I'm saying is that we all got a cross to carry. But I don't know that people are aware of that. And I think that people who, and I'm talking about myself too when I say this, people who think that someone has to do something for them for their life to get better, I think they're unaware of the cross. You know, that they carry the cross. And I'm not getting, and I made the song like I did so people, whether you're religious or not, would actually get it. I'm saying we all have a responsibility to ourselves and to other people. And if we don't take care of ourselves, the truth is, how can we actually expect someone to take care of us or do something for us? So that's really what the song's about. So it's not about anything wrong with any of the identities, because there's nothing wrong with that. It is to wake us up just to say, look, I know the world's messed up. I know we need help, but we got to help ourselves. Pride. That is my favorite song on the album because I'm gonna tell you why. One reason why it's my favorite. It's gonna sound a little anti-DEI, what I'm about to say, but I'm not trying to be. It's one of my most favorite songs on the album because even white folks come up to me and say, even though I'm not black, I love that song. And I'm like, good, because the song's not to exclude anyone. The whole song is just to show how I developed pride in my identity and then how it shifted. Because you listen to it, I talk about how I was in a space when, like, I'm seeing, you know, nothing but white faces on the wall, and kids will become what they see. Then I get you to the point where I'm like, I can have coffee with no sugar or no cream. That's my NOY phase. So I'm showing how people can be angry when they learn one way, get a new awakening or a new awareness, and then they come to it. And I was very angry in my teens and very strongly embracing being black. That's why it's called Pride Part 1, because it's 5 parts. Part 2 is where I go, wait a minute, people of a different hue are not my enemy. You know, so Part 2 is where I get past that. So Part 1 is where you get to hear how, oh, this is how I first started to embrace being black. And then the last song, For the Children, you know, I got to thank Wu-Tang for that. Wu-Tang for the kids. Okay, ODB, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? We said Wu-Tang for the children. And my partner, you know, we always talk about that, you know, like, you know, in our work and in our life and stuff like that, you know, how a lot of the things that we do is like, make sure that it's for the children, for the people. When you finish that song, when you get to the end, you're going to hear something. And it's going to be a woman telling like, come on, kids. I did that song, one, because my producer, DJ Green, he was one of my former students, and his son, he has a son, DJ Jr. That's why it says featuring DJ JR Jr. That's his son that's on there with me humming at the beginning and saying that with me. He's now 7 years old, and I love Junior. And DJ, you know, kind of lets me be somewhat like an uncle, you know, with his son. So I get to watch him raise his son. You know, so both of them are beautiful, you know, men basically. And DJ made that beat. That's me singing on that beat. You know, like that is my voice. So it's the three of us together making that song. And then when the song goes off You hear that woman's voice, that's the beginning of my next album, Branch, which is an totally environmental based album. It's being promoted right now in Wake County and in the state of North Carolina. And it's actually going to be used in different states, when it comes out. And so it's like, that's the sign of, that's what I mean when I say this song is from another project. That's the first one to get you ready, the branch is coming. And then after that, I have The Leader's Child, and and that's what the pride is on. So I explained being a civil rights child and the challenges of that. But I'm sorry, that was a long way of saying.
I love that.
I do the records differently, and D.E.I. was the first one I did like that. It's like a compilation.
Yeah. No, that's...
Sorry.
I think that's a really exciting way to go about it, because I think that, there's a certain freedom in just being able to say, I'm just going to do this for this track, and to take a bit of the pressure off of making an album that has to feel, super cohesive or buttoned up or what have you. So I think that... it almost reminds me of like a mixtape in some ways, because, and those are my favorite things. Like when I was a kid, just go on DatPiff and just take one down, it's just a vibe,
Yes.
And it's just, it's whatever you're rocking with. But I do really appreciate, I appreciate you going track by track, because I didn't want to be too onerous and ask you to go thing by thing. But I think that's a really great setup for the rest of the conversation, both in terms of the actual tracks, but in terms of the broader themes. But I guess before we get into that discussion, you mentioned a lot of the folks that you work with, and I know in previous interviews this weekend you've talked about, that you like to make music with your friends and just put the team together while you do this. So I was curious, and you started talking about it there at the end, but curious, who are the folks you're working with when you're putting a project like this together?
Thank you for that. Oh, man. This is why I get to talk about my brothers. Okay, so and sister and family. Okay, so I made music with Joe T, the producer. Joe T, the producer, is I grew up with him. I made a very bad mistake when we were kids, and we didn't have a falling out. I had a falling out, and he stayed my friend. So he's the I've known him the longest. He stayed my friend, and then we repaired everything, and now we've just been brothers since then. I love his family. Amazing son, his brother, everything. So Joe T, the producer, when he makes music, I feel like I'm talking to my classmate. We played trombone together, so I feel like his music, I'm talking to my guy, and that's why Chronicles of Professor Prismatic was so free, because I just felt like I was talking to him. Like, man, I love this beat. Ethereal phone, like we're gonna put it together. Like I'm giving it to you. Okay, so that's Joe T. Talitha Rising. That's our hook incubator. Partner, like best friend. She's amazing. Probably the most beautiful person on earth to me. Also definitely helps me in my life and growth. But she's a warrior. She would describe herself as an empath. But I think we all feel things. We are. But she takes it on in an extra way. She's an abstract thinker, an abstract liver as a lifestyle and giver. But she loves people, and she really tries to bring the spirit of love and joy to everybody. JS 20,000. We met in undergrad. JS and I both identify, say, neurodivergent. We connected in college because we were, treated differently because of the way that we thought and how we kind of, acted, stuff like that, and became real good friends. And we didn't know each other when we were both from Birmingham, but we didn't know each other until we got to school. I love JS because he's on his own path. Joe T too, but he's on his own path with his music. He makes his music for him. He tries to be genreless as much as he can. But in a weird way, as a guy who tries to not identify with things, he tries to be kind of free. He loves to be both from Birmingham, or from Birmingham as we say it. So when he works with other artists outside of us, they're all from Birmingham. Mm-hmm. He goes back home. And I'm like, JS, you do realize that it's kind of like Pac on the east or the west coast. You kind of locking yourself in the coast, aren't you? No, I'm not, but that's what he said. And then last but not least is DJ Green. No. There's not a last. Oh, no, because there is one more. Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Yeah, I apologize, B. Then there's DJ Green. DJ Green, athlete, one of my former students, turned family member now, and DJ, quiet guy. You know, he'll never be in front of a camera probably. You know, the only thing you probably see is his hand. But you meet him in person, you'll meet him. But then get in front of the camera, you will not see him. He is invisible. DJ has a quiet nature. I like to describe him like kind of like how I would describe y'all. You know, like I can tell you solid. You know, like y'all, you build, you take care of yourself. But there's a gentleness to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always gonna be on your side, in front of you, never behind you, against you, right? But I wouldn't cross you. That's DJ. DJ is gentle. You know, but when he stands up, it's like, hello, are we good? Oh, okay, cool. His son is starting to do that now. DJ Jr. is growing up. And then last but not least, for sure, is B. B guy body, A43. B, I almost got emotional talking about Talitha because, you know, she means so much to me. I can get emotional talk, all of them. I can get, but B, because B and I go back to like 04. And he was my first student I recruited to NC State. And his middle name is RaShad. And I go by RaShad Eas. So when we rhyme, it's literally like my twin at times, but then it's like my brother at times. And then sometimes, and he's giving me Father's Day gifts, so I can say it, it's like with my son. Because I've seen B grow up from 17 to now, 37? 37? Yeah. And I've been with B in some tough times in his life. I helped marry him and his spouse because I'm a minister too. And me and B sometimes finish sentences. We unintentionally, show, like I promise you, if B had to come with me today, he would have on blue jeans and a white or a gray sweater. We dress alike, but not intentionally. Like every time we show up in the studio, he'll have on a RaShad shirt. I have on his album cover t-shirt on. Man, but we'll both have on fatigue shorts and white shoes. And I'm like, man, you got a camera in my house? You know, so those are the folks who I gladly make, that I often make music with. And then I have like other collaborators who I'm tight with, like Joseph Hurst down in New York City. He has his own band. Psyche Much out of Pittsburgh down in Nashville. Joey Gizzy in Nashville, that's our videographer, puts it down. Trevor Jones, Real Blessed Videography, he helps us. Like recording our stuff, even for my consulting business, and am I leaving anybody else out? Yes, Greg Elkins. I've been recording with him the longest in my life. He's just a good brother from West Virginia. But when we're in the studio, this is what I like about Greg. Greg identifies as white. You know, he's an older man. I think he might be in his 60s, but he look like he's in his 40s. But I can talk about politics when I'm in the studio. A lot of those songs, like that Pride song, record that in his studio.
Yep.
You know, and he's in there. He's like, hey, RaShad, hold up, wait, go back. You didn't say black strong enough. He'll say that to me. Say it. We gotta hear it. Do it again. And so I can be me with him. That's what I love about Greg. He is my brother. And then last on the studio side is Artist Mill International, Soup, Dre. Those guys, and my sister, they are powerful. They work with Meg Thee Stallion, okay? So I work with people who work with celebrities. That's right. And I'm open for celebrities. Respect that. Not you, y'all. Yeah, because the respect's already here. Okay, that's it. Oh, no. Two more. So I work with Bennett the Lupo. The reason I'm bringing up Bennett is because he works with the Heartwood podcast, which you might be familiar with. And Bennett has infused my music into episodes, and so to me, that's working with my music. So that's a collab. That's a cooperator. I like to use that. You didn't use it. I'm just saying I don't use the word collaborate because it means to collude with the enemy. So I like to cooperate with people and partner with them. And Bennett has done that, man. For the last 2 seasons, he's taken my music and elevated it. He's actually given my music more purpose in the publishing world because my music has now shown up in places. So I thank Bennett for that. And then Isaac Carew to actually talk to me about my music. Many people don't talk to me about it. That I know and that I work with. It's people outside of me who talk to me about it. So people who also help me feel more secure in it, I have to identify them too. So I said thank you too, and that's why I say people I work with, because they build me up, and those same people I want to do the same to them at all times.
Man, appreciate that.
Likewise.
Man, yeah, takes a village, huh?
Always. Man, it took me about 30 years to realize that, but yeah, always.
Yeah. So what I've done now, so I have some questions about themes, and I have some questions about lyrics, specific lyrics.
Well, now, okay, I'm nervous now.
No need to be nervous. Just I think I'm gonna start with the lyrics, and because I think that'll lead us into themes.
Okay.
And it's ways that you've already talked about it,
Okay.
But I just I took a listen through, and I was just like, how sometimes you just hear a song and you just hear a bar, and you're just like, I need to pause it. So I picked out just a few. And so I just, wanted to give voice to those, but then also there are ones where it's like, oh, there's something behind this.
Okay.
Like there are multiple citations that you could put into this to put it in the academic register. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about those. But yeah, I guess the first one, I think for me listening to the album, Ancestral Worship was one of my favorites.
Okay.
And so one of the lines, and I think you were speaking from the position of your grandmother on this line, but it's a line where you said, "Get up off your knees, I ain't your God, I'm your guide. That's one of the reasons you got stronger after I died." And I was like, that is powerful. And I think in particular, the second part, that's why you got stronger after I died. And I think also hearing about how that track came literally from a dream.
Yes.
Adds context to that, as in like really feeling it like a direct communication, and that's what's coming into that line. But
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say about that line, or just about how that works into the broader song.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep myself together, because whenever I think about my grandmother who passed when I was 14, that's still for me the hardest death that I've ever had in my life. I've had other ones, my aunt, my uncles, but she was the first one, and it just still, it's like it's a hole that has never been filled, But the awareness of what happened over the years is giving me more power when I think about her, which is why I call it ancestral. And I wasn't saying I'm worshiping my grandmother, but I am saying in the ancestral realm, worship can take place. And so when I was growing up, I as a Christian, if you will, I was just like, she dies, she goes to heaven. I'll see her one day, hopefully, unless she didn't go to hell, then hopefully I won't be there, I won't see her, Okay, so you got that. Then I've had my atheist phase. I've had a lot of phases in my life, but I'm now at the place now where, and I like to say it's a meditative, where I'm really trying to cross into different dimensions or different realms. And I do talk to my grandmother. And she came to me clear in that dream. Like, we're going to make a video for that song, and I told them we have to make it exactly like what I saw in the dream, because in the dream, I was back at Triumphant Church, Kingdom of God in Christ, Temple number 7. Our family helped charter that church. My grandmother was the pianist at that church. She trained me on the piano and in the choir. So that's why the hook is like, make it rock like you did as a kid in the choir stand. Yeah. Like, it's like she was telling me what to do in this dream. But when she said, get off your knees, I'm not your God, I'm your guide. It's one of the reasons you got stronger after I died. I just like to go to the other part. She said, I know that you miss me, but I don't miss you, baby. But you will get it when you return to the one that made me.
Yep.
And then that's when I woke up and I wasn't crying. You see, because I was like, oh, maybe there is something better. After this, maybe there's another realm or there's something else. When she said she didn't miss me, it's not that it made me, it was like, oh, she's good with what happened. She's good with where she is. I just got to live my life. Okay. And that's why I'm stronger every day. Because she's like, I'm your guide. I'm always with you. And that's why you got stronger. You didn't get weaker, like when I passed. When I left, you had to figure out how to be in the world. I had to listen to my mom more now, because I was raised by a lot really by my grandparents. My mom and I are close. I had to learn to ask for help, like you said, a village. So I think in many ways when she said you got stronger, because she was my village, and after she passed, in some ways I think that the universe, because I don't think that she passed because she was my village, but I do think that the universe used her transition to remind me I have you always. Just like I have her. I just have her completely with me now. So you live your life, because she has already lived hers. And so that's why that I said that. And I think that's why she said that to me. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think that lends itself well to the theme of religion in general on the album, because I think there's very clear themes of spirituality, especially in that track. You have themes of religion and spirituality on Cross as well, very strongly. And then there are sort of lines throughout where you talk about the role of religion in society as well. So there's a deeply personal aspect of religion, but also the way that religion is used sometimes in conjunction with violence in particular.
Yes.
Is something that you talk about. So, in your capacity as a religious professional, as a religious person, curious if you could just share a bit more about the ways that you talk about religion on the album and how that relates to how you process this, this huge thing in people's lives that can take so many different forms, like you're saying.
Religion is so, I think religion is beautiful, but I don't think that religion answers everything in life. I do think religion is person-made, human-made. So there are many flaws in all of them. And then I've practiced 6 different ones myself. 2 I'll say hardcore, 2 really deep in depth, and that would be Islam and that would be Christianity. Both of them I think are beautiful. They're both related, obviously, but they're both beautiful. I think that people use them sometimes unintentionally, but intentionally to hurt people. The aristocrats and during the transatlantic slave trade, were allowed to go places where the other enslaved people could not. People could be ministers, and then you have room to go if you, but you're preaching a message of oppression, and telling people to stay in their place, So that's where, to me, religion has hurt people. I don't believe in the adage, a child is to be seen and not heard. I think people have taken a religious stance on that to think that that's the way to be. No, children, to me, come directly from the universe. We need to be listening to them before they forget what's going on inside of them, before they're like 4 or 5 years old, and then keep listening. So to me, religion can be a great thing to help bring people somewhat to themselves, but I still think that there's a way to go. I think you can graduate from religion, you can't graduate from the universe. That's literally how I feel. You can't graduate from a religion. Because religion, let me say this, and it's a different podcast. If you go back to the origins of religion, they're really just like political parties. That's really what religions are. If we really to look at how it works in the actual scheme of how this world works, it's just like different parties coming together, and they're all related. And if you can go from one to the next and see the beauty in it, I think that you can start to adopt what works, and then the things that don't, you don't have to dismiss it or disparage it, but you can leave it. So when I'm talking about religion, I primarily go in on Christianity. I do mean go in, because in Christianity, in the church in particular, I should say, I played many roles, from being an usher, a member, a deacon, and I'm ordained in that, and also ordained as a minister. So I've been a pastor, so I've been a follower, and then I've been a leader. And even though I have my own understanding of the story of Jesus, which I think is really more about symbolism, and poured from different belief systems that are thousands of years old, thousands of years old, like Egyptology, we can just keep going. I do think that the image of Jesus, for me, it helps anchor me, and it gives me something to aspire to, and it gives me something to always check myself on, right? I don't believe in perfection. I don't even think it's a real thing, but I do believe in loving people unconditionally, even people that I don't like, to make space for them. And to me, I think that if we all did that, the world would be a better place. But then the challenging part, right, is, but if you think that your religion alone answers all questions and it's the only thing and all that, then that's what, then I challenge it. I'm like, no, like that's not right. I can learn more from an elder on the street if I'm struggling than I can sometimes sitting in a church, listening to someone, sitting up, because they're speaking to me in a moment where I can actually be talked to. So that, women, I didn't ask, am I answering your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get long-winded.
No,
okay.
That's,
okay.
And I ask open-ended questions on purpose.
Oh, okay. Have you been enjoying the episodes of the Heartwood Podcast? Do you like the topics that we discuss? If you are interested in going deeper, we encourage you to get the book written by our own Dr. Thomas RaShad Easley, Mind, Heart for Diversity. And you can purchase the book from our website, mindheartfordiversity.com. Thank you.
I think that's really a good transition too, because I got another line here from D.E.I, the track.
Disruptive. Okay. All right.
And that one is the one where you say, you want to, feel what you want to feel, love what you want to love, or love who you want to love, live how you want to live, say what you want to say, take what you want to take, play how you want to play, hate who you want to hate, and stay where you want to stay. And take me as I am, no, you don't get a break is how you wrap all of that up.
Yeah.
And so I pulled that one out in particular because there's some aspects in that of what we think about with DEI, where it's, you can live where you want to live, you can love who you want to love, but then you also have something that like take what you want to take and hate who you want to hate. And I think those are aspects of DEI that we don't talk about as much.
Yes.
And I think that ties into take me as I am, when you say take me as I am.
Take me as I am. But I don't get a break. When I was, okay, let me tell you where I met with that. Imagine being an employer and you're trying to work with, a cohort of people, and everybody wants everything to be exactly the way that they want it for them. First thing is, I actually believe that that's a thing. That's what you should. I think that we should aspire to that. People should have that. At the same time, do you know how much it's going to take for that to happen? Emotionally, financially, all kind of things, right? So that's why I said, no, you don't get a break, because I need one. Like, it is tough when you're in a position working with and for people and you're trying to bring about change, but everybody wants to be heard. And everybody wants to be able to say what they want to say with no consequence. That's where I challenge, that's where DEI for me gets challenged. Because to me, that's about supremacy, and that's not about equity. I'm not challenging free speech. I'm thinking that we all should be able to speak freely, but also we should be mindful of the consequences that come along with it. And so that's what I'm saying. And so then, if I live where I want to live, love who I want to love, say what I want to say, play how I want to play, hate how I want to hate, then where are the boundaries? What's the limit? Because at some point I'm going to hurt somebody if there are no boundaries there. And that's whether you're good or bad, even though good or bad depends on what side you're on. So even if you're the environmentalist, who's protecting everything, right? If you get to do everything that you want to do, you're going to cross a line that's going to hurt somebody else, even in the goodness of what you're doing. Then let's take the person who's the billionaire with the company, which I think they're the easiest person to point to, because they could be. I'm not a billionaire. I just know one, but they can be disconnected from everything, right? So your resources can protect you, but it's protecting you. While your resources are protecting you, it's protecting you from everything else that everybody's experiencing. You see, so you get to live how you want to live because you can afford it. You can say what you want to say because you can afford to fight the course and say, do whatever. But unfortunately, what you're doing does have an impact on people. So you need a boundary on you too. So what I'm saying is, if we all boundaried ourselves instead of trying to boundary other people, I just think that it would be a better place. So I don't try to put boundaries on you. I don't. But what I try to do is let people know how to engage with me. You see what I'm saying? But I put the boundary on myself to always go, no, I shouldn't be able to just say what I want to say whenever. But if someone says it, whatever they want to me, I don't react to it. That's the deal. I don't react to it. I may respond, which means I'm going to say something positive. I'm not going to say something negative. So what I'm also saying then is that also as a person who's taking the responsibility to do this kind of work, I will be accountable even to those people who basically piss me off. I'll be accountable to those people who I don't agree with. I'll be accountable to those people who I love. I'll be accountable to those people who I'll die for. I'll be accountable. See, because I am still your brother, or your person or your sister. I am still that, you see, on this planet, because I'm here. None of us get out of this alive. So I will always hold that responsibility. And so what I'm saying is that as I hold that, I know that many other people don't, which is why the cross was so important to make that song like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting because the way that I read that line from D.E.I. was a bit different than what you were just saying, because for me, it was like the part where you're saying, take what I want to take and hate what I want to hate. I think it's, it reminds me of the fact that accepting people as they are means you're going to be confronted with things that you might not like because it's different than you.
Yes.
And to deal with the aspects of the negative emotions that come with being in a marginalized identity, right? Where it's like, I think part of the point of DEI is also to make space for that, for people to hold this rage in a way that's not private and pent up, right?
Right.
Being able to give voice to those grievances.
Wait, can I? Okay, I want to lean in on that.
Yep,
okay, thank you for saying that, because I actually did. There was part of that in that too. Okay, in when I put that together, so there was intention, and and that was thematic in that too. Okay, so I'm glad that you said that. Now I want to talk just a little bit about like pride, because where I'm going with that, with that part is take what you want to take. People are not going to stand for that. After a long while. Like just take what you want to take. You can't keep doing this, like say to my people. You can't keep rearranging our narratives. You can't keep lying on us. And I'm talking about black people. In particular. You and hating on us because people want to be us. Like that's where that pride part comes back in. Like, listen here, if you're gonna keep doing it, somebody's gonna snap one day. Or snap again, because it's happened before. Someone. And so what I'm saying is that I'm not an advocate of violence, but what I am is I am an advocate of trying to understand when things happen. And just like I do not support attacking a group of people because of their identity, and making it a us against them. When I know that a group of people have been put down and oppressed, and then they react, I'm like, well, then we got to talk about that, because they're doing something because they feel oppressed. And the oppressor never frees the oppressed. The oppressed always educates the oppressor. And that's Paulo Freire's work, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Hope I'm saying that right. So I was also saying that too. So I also want to acknowledge that, like that I'm also trying to give pride also to the people who have been marginalized, that, they may get to a point, just like Pac said, where the poor where they would eat the people who are full. It's kind of like in Dark Knight Rises, when the people kind of turn, when Bane gave the people the power. And so I'm saying people kind of, like beware and get ready, kind of like what Bob Marley was saying. So so I just wanted to give a little voice to that too.
And I think that goes back to a lot of what you're saying on pride too, where it's, pride is a discussion of race. How there's at once such beauty and such difficulty in occupying an identity like that. And how there's that interior struggle and that complexity, both in terms of how you view yourself in that identity, but also how you're told to view it from the outside world.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Part when I said black is beautiful, black is smart, black is struggle, black is hard. Is Jesus black? Her black is God. Black is because okay. So my parents both educated. So I'm not like they say first generation. No, my parents are both highly educated, formally highly educated, right? Because everyone's educated by life.
Yep.
And so they put me in a private school from age 4 to 8. So my 4-year-old kindergarten to 3rd grade, I was in private school, and it was a Christian private school. So Christianity had been in my life my whole life, man. And they would teach us like this. They would teach us in colors. They would say, red is for the blood of Jesus. These are just some of the colors. Gold, streets of gold, that's in heaven. White, perfect, pure as driven snow. Green, pastures that God has given us. Black, evil, and Satan. So that's how they would teach us. So that's why in the song I say, at home, we hear black is light, but at school we hear this other thing. And that's when I said black's a beautiful black. Because when I got home, it was all black love in the house. My mom's a civil rights activist. My dad, is an activist. We get home and we'll be looking at things about King, something about X will probably be on. We see something about Harriet Tubman. In my house, we learning all of the, good things, about us. We learn about Shaka Zulu. We will learn about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We learn, in our house, my mom and my dad were teaching us, and my uncle was an activist under King. And so we would get that. So, hearing that, but then where am I spending the majority of my time? In that place where I'm learning that black is evil. That's actually where I'm spending the majority of my waking time. And so that's why in the end of the song, it's more of an anger pride, so I'm proud to be black and nobody else even matter in a certain point at that point, because I'm also a teenager, and I don't understand everything about myself. But I feel like as a teen, it was very easy for a lot of teenagers, it's easy to be angry when you don't understand something. And so that's why I wanted to just kind of paint that picture. So then let's say if someone was to go, why is Benny so angry? If someone was to say that, I don't think they would, because he's just too cool for that. But
not him.
I know he can get angry. I know he can get angry. You know what I'm saying? But he's cool. But they were like, why is he so angry? And if that's the only thing that they say, right? I'd be like, do you know? Well, what do you mean? Why is he so angry? Well, then I would just go, well, where does anger come from? Because he wasn't born angry. But he was born with it, because it's an emotion that we get. But where does it come from? Something must have happened. Well, why don't you go talk to him? Or did you got the courage to go talk to him? And then you probably hear, oh yeah, he saw something happened. Somebody said something, somebody did something. Oh, now I have an understanding why he's angry. See, now somebody else comes, why has been angry? Oh, so you know the story? You don't know why he's angry? Okay. So now someone was to ask the question, why do you think some of what Farrakhan says what he says? Do you know some of what he experienced when he grew up? Why was Malcolm X so, do you actually know what he saw growing up as Malcolm Little before he had his conversion? Why at the end of Dr. King's life when he died was he talking like X? Do you realize what happened to him from August 28th, 1963 up until right before April 4th, 1968? Do you know how he was attacked, stabbed, and all of these things? He sat with L.B. Johnson. He saw the change, but he saw that the change didn't really do anything. Affirmative action kicked in, but white women started benefiting more than other people. See, he saw that. And so I think that's the thing. People miss that. So that's what I want Pride to kind of be a demonstration of, is that when you see a person who is angry, understand that something probably happened for them to get, to that point. And that they're still smart, and hopefully they can still be in control. And that's also what I'm trying to show. You can be angry and still in control, because that's what I was even when I was a kid. Like James Baldwin would say, I had righteous rage. I had a reason to be angry. Yeah.
Righteous rage. Mm-hmm. And that's actually, I feel like we're on the same wavelength this whole interview, which is awesome, because in one part of that beautiful articulation of those feelings that are coming through in Pride, it ties back to the last lyric that I wanted to talk about, it's a set, but it's from All We Got Is Us. And I think that would be a good one to close this out, because it's taken us back into the space of action and sort of meta level, talking about what this album is promoting. Mm-hmm. Because in the album you say, affirmative action ain't what you all really think it is. And then also you say the line in the hook, reparations, no, it's not enough. Mm-hmm. And so when you're coming from that place of, when you're trying to, put something together to address what's been going on with this, and then what's out there now, offering critiques and offering ways that we can make it better. What's the thought behind lines like those?
Let me see. Affirmative action, what you all really think. Then let me just do another part. I said Karen's benefited more than Keisha's. Karen's, Keisha's. It's cold how that make you hot under the beat of like the t-shirt that people wear. I said, but let's change the context of the shirt. Make it sweeter. Like, why's it got to be a white beater? Like, so I don't use that, you know what I'm saying? And then I say, don't compromise to be cleaner, leaner, demeanor, serena, black love, don't let nothing come between us. So it's like I'm still trying to promote that, and then I go to never right enough. Reparations, no, it's not enough. If you want, got it, okay. So then I was like, reparations won't solve everything. I'm not saying don't do it. Country, try. So you go ahead, government, try. I'd love you to do it. Put in an attempt. Go ahead. Give it up. But at the same time, that won't solve everything. Because just like when our ancestors were released, out of quote unquote, slavery, there was still so much that they had to learn to adapt into American society. Let me just say this real quick. It took them less than 10 years to go from owning nothing to owning 27 million acres. Who's mediocre there? So that's also what I'm saying. Like 27 million acres. Black folk got that fast. Less than 10 years out of slavery were able to get that. That's brilliance. So reparations isn't enough because your money is not going to solve everything. Money is the most worthless thing anyway. It literally is the most worthless thing. Not money. It's what money gives is what's worth something. Your time is worth something. This building is worth something. Because this structure, because building is doing something. This structure is worth. And so then we get to the last part when I say, keep it going, all we got is us. Feel good or like a rough, all we got is us. That is literally saying it's an individual call out. Keep myself together, all we got is us. Keep myself going, all we got is us. It's an individual call out. If you understand that all we got is us, then who's the most important person in? You. You got to take care of yourself. You got to do better. If you're in relationships with people, to make that relationship stronger, you get stronger. You don't say, I need you to do this. You get stronger. Do what you got to do for you, because all we got is us. Because if you're stronger, you can do better for us, and now we can do better together. But I think if it's just, I'm waiting for somebody to do something for me, then you're going to be waiting forever. And so that's really why I said that about that whole, all we got is up, because in the end, that's all we have. That tree gives me air to breathe, but that tree doesn't fight for me. But you probably will. You know what I'm saying? And then, but what you also may do is also may not fight for me, but, calm me down. Hey, you don't need to be fighting, chill out. And then when I'm feeling, I love what Dr. Latimer said yesterday, I'm feeling depressed. She said, I give myself a day. That's what I do. I give myself a little time to feel like, yo, Ben, it's rough. 23 hours later, yo, Bennett, I'm rough. What we getting ready to go do? It changes. Why? Because all we got is us. Because here's what I do know, right? Why he's helping me in that 24 hours. I'm sorry, Doc, it's good, right? If that continues, he's going to get tired of that. He's going to get tired of that. So that's why I got to make sure I don't wear that out. All right, bro, we ready. Let's go. So that's what I mean when I say all we got is us. Yeah. Another long-winded answer, y'all, but thanks for listening.
That's good. I guess before we wrap it up, it's, we've touched on a lot of themes so far. Race, religion in particular. We talked about age. We talked about, there's so much that the album covers, and there's so much that we've been able to bring to light today in a really beautiful way that I've appreciated. I feel like I've learned about you as an artist, but more importantly, you as a man, you as a person. But before we close out, is there anything else that I didn't ask that you wanted to give voice to?
My Takeoff song, which is my number 2 song on all platforms now, it's like it's taken off, pun intended. What I in the midst of all of the DEI stuff and being here at Yale, I take the art of emceeing very seriously, and I think that Takeoff in particular shows that, how I did that. And I'm not going to go into the lyrics, but you can listen to the second verses. I kind of, talk about the body of a woman. What I'm happy about, though, about that song is that the most compliments I've gotten on the song have all come from women. They've all said, yeah, I like that song. I like how you rap that in that song. And so, if you don't mind, I just like to rap a lyric from another song of mine. It's called Perfect Flow, and then just tie back to Takeoff, and then we can end. It's a song. It's my number 1 song that's out right now. It's called Perfect Flow. And I say in the song, I say, we can commit 19 crimes. That's the wine, not the gin. So my dog snoops around, and it's a good. Wait, no. Oh yeah, ain't gonna hurt nobody. Wait a minute, back up. Wait a minute. No. That's it. I said, let's have communion in the club. No, listen. Oh man, hold on, wait. Want to have a good time? Thelma, come on in. Get fried with the deacons. Can I get amen? Let's have communion at the club, like communion in church, and make a friend. Be tipsy with love. Ladies gave consent. Commit 19 crimes, that's the wine, not the gin. So my dog snoops around and this is a good scent, but ain't gonna hurt nobody to get down to this. It's the consent part. So, and I even said another line when I said, ladies, tell me how you feel. Fellas, let's begin. Put your hands high, left, right, do it again. So then I go back to takeoff. What I was trying to demonstrate in takeoff is with the right relationship, with the right understanding, and with the right consent, a lot of times those boundaries don't even exist. So, people make that dumb statement, I can't compliment nobody. Yes, you can if you're not a creeper. Yes, you can. I can't look at her, man. She thinks I'm looking at that because you were gawking, fool. You were doing this. You can't say anything to anybody. Yes, you can. Stunning dress. Walk away. You can say that. The problem is when you go, that dress. First, why'd you lick your lip, bro? Like, what's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? So that's why. Thank y'all for laughing. But I'm just saying, it's like that's what I'm talking about, right? So the people who say that I can't do anything, no, it's not that you can't do anything. No one should be able to just do whatever they want to do. You should respect everyone that you meet and not just walk in. You can't treat everybody the same. And that's really what I'm trying to demonstrate in that song by the way that I'm that I'm talking to the woman. And I appreciate that most women who've heard, I haven't been accosted or people haven't taken it the wrong way because I'm not talking about her. It's not about sex. It's not about that. And I think that's the other thing. It's not about that. Because I even say in the line, I say, you look presidential and scholarly. Your flesh I'm blessed to see. Your flesh I'm blessed to see. That means to see the body of a woman in any way is a blessing. Respect it. I say your curves are hypnotic. Oh, yes, that's weaponry. See, so I put the respect on it first. And I said, but your curves are hypnotic. But you just told me that I look presidential and scholarly and acknowledging. Oh, so you're not acknowledging what you see, acknowledging all of it as much as you can, not just one thing. And that's what I'm trying to show in that song. If you only see one part of somebody, that's a problem. And then if you try not to see other parts like it, I don't see color, then you must not see something. How you going to not see a part of me, And that's what I'm trying to, show in that song. That means that I have to do it myself too. And so I'm also kind of putting myself on the line with that one. And I just want to say I take him singing seriously. I try to integrate as much as I can D.E.I. in my lyrics. I do push boundaries for the purpose of awakening, but I don't I can't push certain boundaries like I can't. And this people do it but I'm not a comedian. I can't make jokes about like a George Floyd. I can't denigrate women. I say I can't use a B word on it. I can't do that. That's where the line draws. But I work with people who have done it, and I'll admit I've challenged them. And so when they get on music with me, they know that they can't do that or they don't want to. No, it's not they can't. They don't do it. Like they'll curse in that song, and they get on a song with me and they won't curse. And I'm like, everything cool? No, I just didn't want to. Well, I didn't say you didn't have to. It's good. So I'll just close with this, that you don't have to force people or force feed anything a lot of times. If you be it, people will adapt. Just be it and they'll adapt. And that's the last thing I say about D.E.I. And also recognize the colors on the cover, y'all. I am a proud individual. I did that on purpose. So I love what my brother got on right here. I love it. Oh, yeah. Dang, you think that all the way. You think that everywhere. Excuse me. Shucks, man. I wore the wrong color sweater. I got this. Got it. You were decked out, man. All right. Okay.
Yeah, man. Subconscious. The subconscious was working today.
I don't even think that was subconscious.
No, this one. No, I was.
Oh, just like
no. I need to be multifunctional because I have a soccer game after this. So what I'm going to warm up in is this.
Love it.
Yep. Happy with it. Well, on that note, RaShad Eas, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
And as an individual that's striving to decompartmentalize myself as much as I can. It's, I know I'm talking to RaShad Eas now, but I'm talking to, Thomas RaShad Easley, Dr. Easley as well. Mm-hmm. And so just to have that conversation with yourself, with the artistic expression, what's coming to the fore, but never feeling like a moment that this is any different than who you are as a person as well, and as a colleague, as somebody that I'm working with and building this and trying to put good ideas out into the world. It's been an absolute joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The feeling is more than mutual. Appreciate it. Thanks, Heartwood. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Good.
Man, that was good, man. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad I just trusted you with the questions, because I didn't know you were gonna ask me about lyrics. Oh, I got so nervous. What did I say? I'm trying to recount everything. And I'm like, oh, they could take that the wrong way. Oh shit.
No, I wasn't gonna set you up like that.
Okay. No, but I trust you. I was like, but what I loved is that if it was out, then that. But it's my job I have to be responsible for it.
But also, you were more than ready, because you had other lyrics just ready to go.
No, it's easy when you say my lyrics back to me, I can recall. I don't know. I'm sure y'all know more about this than me. I don't know what part of the brain that music stimulates or stays in, but it doesn't go away.
It really doesn't.
Even if you have dementia, or Alzheimer's, that part, it's weird. That part does not go away. My grandfather died at 88. At the point, his whole body basically shut down. He had dementia. As he was dying, he was singing the song that he wrote, that he did in the quartet, as he was dying. But he didn't recognize my mom. But he recognized me. That's what he knew who I was. He didn't know his daughter was. But he knew his grandchildren. He knew my sister and I. That's what he didn't know no one else. But he knew us, and then he knew his music. It was weird. What part of that goes to? So I just want to say thank you, man.
Yeah.
But when you did the lyrics, I'm like, to hear you read them back to me, I was like, I wrote that.
Yeah.
I put that down. Like when you said that about ancestral worship, strong after I die. No one's ever said that back to me, and that's why I got a little misty. I really did.
It's a powerful line, and a powerful theme, powerful song, like all of that.
And I was like, I said that? Lord, I said that?
So we're good to go whenever y'all are ready.
Okay. All right. We'll just jump into it.
We can.
All right. Okay. Well, everybody, I guess welcome to another episode of the Heartwood Podcast. But today we're going to do a little something different. So what's about to happen is I'm going to take a seat. This is Dr. Thomas RaShad Easley, but I think today I want to be RaShad Eas in this moment. So I guess can you tell me what we're getting ready to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I gotta. I'll ask you to do something.
Yeah.
Just you remember the first thing I said when we started it? Can we take that out? I'm gonna put that on a blooper roll and start this officially with Isaac because he literally started. He went in like he did. He did it.
We can do that.
What I'm saying? We can switch things up. Whole podcast starting with RaShad. The way you did that. So, but but just take but set it aside somewhere like.
No, we got you.
You know what I'm saying? Please.
Of course. Do you mind if we take like a 2-minute break?
Of course.
Because Brandon is here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he came up here to see you.
Okay.
So just like then he can listen in after y'all see each other, after y'all introduce, and then y'all can talk after.
Okay, cool.
Brandon, you out there? That's good. I was recording. I was just like, let me pause for a minute.
How's it going?
Morning. How y'all doing?
Doing very well. How about you?
All right. Hey. Rough morning, but hanging in there.
I was been a rough morning?
Waking up was hard.
Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, we need to make sure he has a chair.
Yeah. Here, we can move that.
Village.
Of course. Okay.
How you doing?
So, what y'all recorded? Like, you didn't really give me the Heartwood podcast. The Heartwood podcast. So, like, the podcast I've been working on for the last year and a half.
Yes.
This is it. He comes back to campus once a year. Usually, like once a year, right?
so yeah. I think I've come up one time in the fall.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
But
One time last
definitely
fall.
in the spring. Yeah.
And then we just try to like get some like really good in-person interviews. You know, I think last year we interviewed Grace, Otto, and then Toko for one of them, and then did like we had one. And there's one other one that I can't think of, right?
Dr. A brother from Hawaii.
Yeah, Pat Gonzalez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we did Dr. Torres, remember? Him in person.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're doing that, and then how many questions are left?
Had like one more line.
Okay. So, and then y'all be able to chop it up because I've been waiting for y'all to meet each other for a while.
Okay.
For like a year.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Well, cool. Okay. Well, then we gonna do it. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. You all ready to get back to it?
Yeah, let's do it.